Huron Christian Church is growing produce with a purpose through their own community garden. In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, Ariana Schumacher takes you to Huron to see how the garden operates.
For these gardeners, growing produce is a way to give back to the community.
It was originally started just for produce for people that attend our church, but then it was kind of got to the point where we produced a little too much than people wanted to take, and so then kind of brainstormed and came up with the idea of bringing some of that extra produce over to some of the apartment buildings that were nearby. And some of them it's affordable housing, some of them are kind of assisted living type situations for elderly or for people that have handicaps. And so we thought, what a great way for outreach for our church to meet people in the community.
Now the garden has grown and there are 64 open plots where anyone can come and grow their own produce at no charge.
And most people come back every year, and each year we try and expand a little bit, try and keep it somewhat organized so we don't expand too much, but every year we expand by just a little bit.
It's about outreach and bringing people together.
It's a way to get people together that have something in common. And so, for example, someone like me, I'm not necessarily really outgoing, and so if I want to do outreach for our church, I kind of had to find a creative way where I can meet people, and doing that was to find something that we have in common, and gardening is that.
But this isn't your typical Midwest garden. Over 90% of the plots are kept by Karen political refugees, and they grow their own produce that is common in their culture.
So there's a lot of leafy greens, pak choi and bok choy, for example. They grow a lot of herbs. You'll see there's even some ginger plots that you'll find. So things that are not very traditional for South Dakota gardens, for sure.
The people that are here have seeds from different countries, and they're glad to share the different kind of diverse vegetables that they grow, and they're absolutely scrumptious, and they very, very nutritious.
Scheibe also works with the Center of Independence to allow those with disabilities to come out and work in her garden plot, and she sees a great response from participants.
It's phenomenal. In fact, they're kind of fighting over who gets to come out to the garden. I can only have, 5 or 6 people at a time, twice a week. And they've grown to know the people who come out here of all the different backgrounds, and everybody seems to be kind of one, and everybody's comfortable when you're here, and there's no lines, of who you are and who I am. It's us.
Vlieger works as an NRCS soil health specialist, so he finds ways to incorporate different conservation practices into the community garden.
I practice what I preach out here. There's no tillage. We don't till up with a rototiller in the spring, like it's pretty traditional for a lot of gardeners. We are pretty conservative with our water use. We have a drip irrigation. We plant cover crops on a quarter of our garden to help build the soil, which is what you see standing behind me here. And we do some kind of non-traditional ways to control weeds. I plant low ground cover in between plants and between rows to keep weeds down. We of course rotate our crops.
11 years of bringing the community together to get their hands dirty and grow some produce.
You'll come out here in the summer evening, after that supper time hour, that's a little bit cooler part of the day, and there'll be 25, 30 families out here, and so each plot will have, it's not just that plot holder, they'll take their kids with them, or the grandparents, kind of multi-generational, will be out here too, and so it's kind of a buzzing little place. So you'll run into people that are out here, they're doing their thing in their garden, and then you can walk by and say hi and how's it going. So the best part is definitely the community we have out here.
The people that come here from diverse backgrounds, diverse languages, we've just really cherish the people that are here, that sometimes we don't have the same language, but we all have the same, interest and passion, and that's growing our own food.
With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Ariana Schumacher.
Now listen to this, Bridget. In a regular season, the garden produces around $10,000 worth of produce. And if they grow watermelons, that produce can weigh in at around 12,000 pounds.